if you can hear snoring, that's what it is. It's the sound of my son snoring. So, right, anyway, back to the video. If you would like to change your life, there's a way that you can do it. And in this video, I am going to give you 6 steps that you can do. I'm going to be doing these steps this year because I want to see changes in my life too. And so do this with me. It's a very powerful process, okay? And it's actually what we do on the Conscious Creators Masters Academy. So if you'd like some guidance and support with doing these steps, you can find out more in the link in my description. There is 1 space left and we start this Friday. So there are 6 steps that I really like to go by. And if you do these 6 steps, your life can look completely different in 6 months. Because sometimes we feel like we're drifting, that we're stuck, and that we're waiting for things to change. And we don't want to be in that energy. We want to take control. We want to feel like we are powering through making actual changes. So the first step is to get clear on what you want. And this can take some real focus. Sit down and think about, write it down. What is it that you want? Okay? Get really clear. Make a really clear picture of what it is that you want to feel, where you want to be, what you want your life to look like, what you'd like to be different, what you would like to be there still, and what you would like to go, okay? So get really clear on the image and the vision of what it is that you want to create. That's the first thing. That's our goalpost, right? We need directions. So first of all, we need to know where we're going, right? The second thing is to notice what your current narrative is. What kind of language are you using, okay? And what are your limiting beliefs? So I hear people all the time saying things like, it never works out, I try doing this but it doesn't work, or I always feel like this, or this always happens for me. What kind of language are you using? Because whatever you say is like the universe goes, okay, thanks for that, I'll feed that right back to you in some amount of time, and then you see the same circumstance because you're looking for it. So the first thing you've got to do is consciously change your language and your narrative. If you would like to have more luck and love in your life, then you have to say, I'm a lucky person. Love comes to me easily. And you have to say these things like you're having a positive conversation with yourself. Change the narrative, change the language. I have a lot of clients who say things to me like, dating apps never work for me and I never have any luck on them. It just always falls apart, or I always meet someone and then it doesn't work. You know, things like this. If you think about the language and what you're affirming, really, you are literally writing the story when you say things like that. So watch your language and change the narrative. And you can do this by writing things down. Write down what your limiting beliefs are, the things that you've been saying, the things that you are currently believing about your life. And you have to be believing something about your life for you to be in a circumstance where you would like something to dramatically change. So what is it that you're believing about your life right now? What's the narrative? And then on the other side of the paper, write down the opposite. Write down the opposite of what that belief is, the positive, okay? So write down the positive opposite, you see? So relationships do work out for me. Things are changing. I'm so lucky. Actually, the narrative is different now, and I feel so grateful for all the changes that have happened. This kind of thing, right? So what's the opposite of the beliefs that you currently have? That was the cognitive bit, okay? Getting to know what we want and looking at the language that we're using and learning to change the narrative. But we have a body and we have feelings and we have a nervous system. And the nervous system will pull you back into the old narrative like a Hoover, as one of my clients said the other day. I thought that was a really good analogy for saying what it feels like when you get sucked back into the old story by a trigger, something that has prodded a wound within you, okay? So this is where that nervous system regulation work comes in. This is where it takes getting to know your nervous system, slowing down. So with this, you can do things like mindfulness, becoming aware of your body, okay? The reason why we have to get to know our nervous system is because we have to be able to notice what happens when we are triggered in order for us to create a conscious new response. And this can be really difficult when we're triggered. When we are triggered, it is hard, right? That's just part of the process, and it takes practice. It's hard when you start to learn to ride a bike, isn't it? You fall off loads and loads and loads of times. It's the same with creating these new neural pathways, new reactions to our triggers. So if you see a narrative in your life and you want to say, see, relationships don't work out for me. See, I never have any money. If you see these triggers in your life, that's your opportunity in that moment to go, how am I reacting to this? And then you stop and you pause and you notice what's happening in your body. Take time to breathe into those sensations and to love that part of you that's coming up with fear or anxiety or worry, okay? Or whatever it is, anger, all of these emotions that can come up with the triggers. So take time to soothe that part of you and say, no, not this time. This time we are moving into this new narrative. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So you consciously have to do this. This is why we call the Conscious Creators Masters Academy the Conscious Creators, because we're consciously creating new responses, okay, especially when we're triggered. So this takes practice and it takes time and it can take some guidance. So if you would like some support with that, that's what the Conscious Creators Masters Academy does. It's that support network for you to work through the things that come up as you're changing the narrative. Okay, so number 4, the next thing is to take what you want off the pedestal, okay? Make it seem like it's actually easy for you, it's natural, okay? This is part of the narrative transformation thing. Let's take it off this distant figure that you're trying to get to, okay? And make it seem like, of course, that's a phrase that I use a lot. Of course I can have this thing. Of course I'm going to get that thing that I want. Of course I'm going to be in that relationship. Of course I'm going to be a millionaire. Whatever it is that you want, okay? Don't play small anymore, okay? You're worthy, you can have the thing that you want. You have to convince yourself and your mind that this is actually something that is going to come easily and naturally to you. So change that part of the narrative too. So number 5 is that we have to embody the person who believes that this new narrative is true and easy and natural and normal, okay? So actually the contradiction about this is that it doesn't feel easy, natural, normal or true at the beginning. Okay, that's part of the process. It's really part of the teething problems. It doesn't feel easy to ride a bike when you first get on a bike, does it? It's the same kind of thing. It doesn't feel easy to learn to drive a car or anything. It's the same thing. So when we're learning to become this new version of ourselves, we're going to have a similar difficulty at the beginning. See that as part of the process. A lot of people stumble on this bit because they feel like, I want it to be easy now. Why can't I just get it? Why isn't it coming naturally to me? Because it's new, because it's not natural at the beginning. It actually takes that consciousness to be able to think about and react to and embody someone that's different from how you've been showing up for so many years of your life. This embodiment part can get people really confused because it feels like sometimes people take it to an extreme where they're thinking, oh, I've got to live like I'm already in the relationship and I've got to tell everybody that I'm already in the relationship. I've got to spend like I'm already a millionaire and all of these things. That's not what we're doing. It's the knowing that makes you feel like you don't need to stress out if something goes wrong, because you know that you are that person who is becoming the version of you that actually these things are natural and easy and normal for you in your life for, okay? So this conversation about embodiment is much longer than this video can be, and it's something that we dive into the Conscious Creators Masters Academy and the Advanced Conscious Creators Masters Academy as well, because it's a concept that people get tripped up on a lot. Embodiment is also taking action with things like knowing that you are confident enough to apply for a job, to ask for the help that you need, to say no, to set boundaries, knowing that you are worth the people who love you in your life, meeting you where you want to be and how you want to be treated, okay? You have to act in accordance with the worth that you know that you are.
Hello, little Pookie, are you waking up? Are you waking up there?
And then the 6th step is that you have to repeat these steps over and over and over again. So he's going to have to sit here with me while I finish this video. Looking cute. So in the mix of all of these steps is consistent self-love work, positive conversations with yourself, the statement, I will achieve this, I am the person that does this, and completely always referring back to that as your go-to statement, okay? So you don't waver in the confidence of knowing that you are going to create the change that you want to create. You can do it. I believe in you, and we're all going to do it this year. I'm going to do all of these steps with you, and if you need any support along the way, if you would like to join the Conscious Creators Masters Academy, there's one space left for this cohort. We start on Friday at 6 p.m. I'd love to see you there. If you want any more information about that, you can find out in the link below. Send me a DM or an email, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye.